And a good morning to you. Full house this morning. Glad everybody's here.
I like your truck.
Thank you very much. I like my truck. I don't like the payments, but I like my truck.
Hey, man. Hey, you're investing in your happiness.
It's only money. Well, I look at it this way. I've made three car payments for a number of years. I figure I can expand mine a little bit since it's the only one I got left. Don't laugh. You understand that. Okay, I'm just saying. All right, I got a message last night that today was a baseball show, and I'm so excited about it. Tell me about it. I thought this was going to be a big baseball show. Did I miss something? Was that not? Did I not?
Who'd you get the message from?
I thought that guy sitting over there.
Did he say it was a baseball show?
I could have sworn it was. Are you sure?
I was watching Top Gun. Hold on. I was watching, the new movie Maverick. Holy smokes, it's really good.
Please don't bring.
I don't
that
remember
up.
that.
If my wife's listening, don't bring that up. She's still mad because I didn't take her.
We're seeing, baseball. We're seeing the modern day Babe Ruth right before our very eyes.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Shohei Ohtani, two-way player.
He's not. Tom Seaver, Mickey Mantle.
No, he's a modern day Babe Ruth.
He's modern day Babe Ruth.
Okay.
That's exactly what he is. And Ruth's pitching was always kind of pushed to the side, as effective as he was doing that because of his hitting. But this kid, this man, he's the real deal. If he stays healthy.
Yeah, he's pitching had a better year this year than he had last year, and he was the MVP.
But the problem is somebody that knows a lot will screw that up.
What do you mean?
Okay.
In ownership, managers.
I know where
managers, agents.
No,
somebody
the guy that gave him the
shot. He
shot.
wants to play.
And he is.
I understand. But I'm just saying.
And if they don't allow him to continue to do that, then he can play out for his contract, and he'll sign somewhere else for mega millions.
Do you know where he would be most effective, in my opinion, is not the American League. It's in the National
I didn't think there was any difference now.
Well.
Thanks for. Awesome movie, according to Kim Jones-Ford. Why are you up? How nice of you to go to the movies. I suck.
Sorry.
I don't go to the movies.
I'm really sorry, man. There was like 8 people in there with us last night, so we had the whole.
Thanks.
It was cool.
Which movie theater?
AMC in Hickory.
Okay.
We didn't go to they didn't have it showing in the, the IMAX, the really, really one that vibrates the seats and all that stuff. I was trying to get that, but yeah, it was good. It was good. It was good. It's kind of like Star Wars, man. It just kind of grows with you,
Richie said Maverick's a great movie. Lindsay said I love Top Gun too. Yeah. And Lindsay said I tried to get him to go, but hey, when you're a curmudgeon, you're a curmudgeon. That's it.
I didn't know.
I used to make an annual movie visit, okay? On our anniversary trip, I would make I would make a good faith gesture of a movie.
Yeah.
I only remember one really good one, and that was We Are Marshall. That was a great movie.
Yeah.
And they took me to some movie about a dog that died in the end. And it wasn't old Yeller, okay?
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, come on, stop.
Yeah,
stop. No, Lincoln's closed, Richie. Lincoln Theaters. They completely shut it down.
So we rode by there a couple of days ago.
It's grown
the day
up.
Before yesterday, me and G were heading down to Lincoln, do a couple things, and we rode by. And I looked, and there's a big tree growing up on the side of the building, and parking lots just – I mean, you know what I mean. You could tell it had been closed. And my 11-year-old looks at me and says, Dad, that thing's been closed for like 2 years. I said, what?
It reopened after COVID for a little while.
It did?
But not much.
Man, it doesn't look like
it. Didn't last long.
Yeah, so.
It did not last long.
Okay.
Go back to Ohtani.
Yeah, okay. So the reason I say that he would be better suited for the National League is because the National League, even though, the DH and things like that, it will take 3 or 4 years for the pitching to adapt to the ability to have the extra hitter.
Mm-hmm.
And if he were to play over there and hit while he was pitching, just as an example, it's like Bumgarner theoretically in the lineup, except obviously he's better because he does it more, but that same kind of power, same kind of average. And I just think that, it takes a couple, 3 years for a division, the NL, to adapt to having the extra, having the extra.
But why am I not thinking they did away with that?
The experimental and the DH.
Yeah, I thought there was no difference now.
This year's the first year. Well, they had it during the COVID year.
But you know what I'm saying.
And it'll take the National League teams.
Yeah, the pitchers. Yeah, it takes a while.
It does.
Yeah.
It'll take a while.
It takes away the small ball effect, because the pitchers.
They don't play small ball anymore.
Well, they still bunt. The pitchers still bunted, quite a bit to try to get them out of there and keep them from getting injured. If you notice the difference between a pitcher and a true position player bunting, the pitcher's hands were a lot lower on the bat.
Mm-hmm.
For fear of getting hit with inside fat, on the fingers. But I tell you what, but I really feel like, though, with all this going on, that baseball is going to come full circle as far as going back to the smaller game and it will start seeing it maybe in 5 years. It's happening in minor league baseball quite a bit right now.
Yeah, and they're speeding the game up. To your point about sacrifices and stuff, I think they're on pace to have the least amount of sacrifice bunts in the history of the game.
Yeah.
I think the Braves are the only, right now, one of the teams that have not had a sacrifice bunt all year yet.
Brandon said rules changed to assist in his ability to put and then stay in the game as a DH as well.
And it should be that way. The flexibility. It's like you can do in college baseball. If you're a pitcher, you're pitching, but if you're a great hitter, they can put you in as the DH, and if you come out pitching, you can still, stay in the game as a DH. They should do that. It makes the quality of the game better. You want the best people possible playing, right?
You know my level of expertise, quote, interest, quote, enthusiasm over baseball. Okay. And to me, baseball has made it worse for me, the casual fan, because it's become less interesting because it's strikeout or home run. There is no small ball.
Shift.
The shift, all that crap.
And that's going out next year.
Right, but what I'm saying is
speeding up the games going out.
I like to see some action. I don't want to watch a home run derby, kind of like NASCAR. I don't want to watch an IROC race. That's what it is now. They're all cookie-cutter cars. They just set a different body with some stickers on them.
We talked about that on Monday.
We was talking about It's the same chassis. It's the same engine.
Right,
everything's the same, and that's what I just think that when you do that, it takes so much away.
Yeah,
and that's why football is and NBA basketball is the same way. I mean, and I know that part of it is it looks like they're not trying because they're such top-notch athletes, but there really is a change in the game when the NBA gets to playoffs. You see a different type of game than you do in the regular season.
Right.
And that's what I think so many major sports are missing. You're just watching the same thing. You don't need a name. You don't need a team. It's just the same thing over and over. There used to be, take baseball, for example, there were certain baseball teams that did certain small ball things really well. I always give the example of Bobby Dale at Cherryville.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby Dale was one of the masters at manufacturing runs.
Yeah.
He get a guy on first base, he would manufacture a run somehow.
Yeah, that's right.
And you've moved up now to the pros, to Major League Baseball. There's not.
Right.
Well, they have analytics departments now. Will tell you they'll have the numbers to say it's the probability of that happening, of moving a guy up, moving a guy over, moving him into scoring a run is very, very slim, as opposed to launching it,
That's right.
hitting extra base hits, slugging percentage, home runs. That's the way to go right now. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think some because the season's so long, I think there are times against certain pitchers, certain teams where you can play small ball against relief pitchers or whatnot.
I'll give you this example. When I was in college, and it's all about I don't know where today's baseball fan is if they're completely okay with watching the long ball. I like the long ball, but I want it to just be a part of the game. But I want it to be a part of the game, not just
like
wait
the
on
dunk.
it. That's correct. That's correct.
What I mean? Yeah.
And so when I was in college, I had never been to a soccer match, ever. Okay? I was at Appalachian. Appalachian and Charlotte were in the top 10 nationally. Mm-hmm. Hank Steinbrecher was the coach at Appalachian who went to Boston College, and I don't remember who was at Charlotte. Charlotte came to Boone. My next-door neighbor, who became one of my best friends, was a former soccer player at Grimsley in high school. He said, we need to go to the soccer match. I said, this is a top national soccer match.
Right.
And we went. He thought it was the greatest thing ever.
It was awful because
nobody scored.
Yeah.
And so, as the casual fan, I'm missing something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so when you take that same mentality and put it on other sports to where there's just a few things that happen, the casual fan don't get it. They just don't get it, and that's where I'm at with baseball.
Well, let me tell you
Not
about
counting it takes a day
what
to play
Juju
it.
talked about. Of course, he and I read that stuff. We look at it and everything about the analytics as far as the percentages, right? Of is it better to hit the ball in the air, not bunt the guy over, that kind of thing.
Batting averages don't matter as much anymore.
Right, it's crazy.
But that's what baseball was.
But let me tell you why I believe that is flawed, okay, to some degree. Because it's all about being able to place the ball when you bunt in a certain area, and it also has to do with the speed of the runner. What they're not taking into account is as fast as these modern-day guys are, if they teach them to place the ball, which is easier than teaching them to be consistent with batting average, regardless of what you hear, okay, regardless. I've been teaching this for over 30 years, okay, to all levels of players. Ball placement, like bunting for a hit versus a true sacrifice, you can kind of do both. So the odds of, for example, if you have a guy on second and no outs and you bunt the ball to third, okay, the third baseman has to come play the ball. So the guy from second does advance. But if it is a bunt for a hit and you put it close to the line, chances are if you've got any kind of average speed, 7-0 or better, okay, you're going to beat that throw out to first base. Now you have first and third. Okay, so in what Juju's talking about is they're just using the straight sacrifice, give yourself up, take the out, instead of the true metrics of the game. Why you hit a left-hander and try to stagger your lineup? Because he's a couple steps closer to the back. There's none of this being taken into account. As far as when I think a lot of times statistics are skewed to the narrative that's that is in front of us, or the one that's kind of wanting to be steered that way. So they back it up with empirical
You control
data,
where you want it to be.
The narrative, right, instead of, truly looking at the dynamics of the game. You can't tell me with the speed that Atlanta has, and I know they're doing this and that. Okay, but the season's long. Let's just go and throw it out there.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell me with the speed that's in the majors right now, especially with the left-handed kids that are playing, that they can't carry the ball to first with them or push it down to to third. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff they're throwing out there at people that may not be as.
Steve Peeler said doing away with pitchers hitting and installation of DH in both leagues killed small ball and station-to-station baseball.
Yes, and Steve knows this.
Right, that's right. He's been
in the American League.
Yeah. So, but here's my thing: if I'm watching. Okay, I like to watch women's golf because of the pureness of their swing. They can't putt, but striking the ball and hitting it where they want to hit it is very impressive. Men's golf, you don't see the same swing, but what makes men's golf interesting is when they get in trouble and they're able to create that shot. And you're like, how did you come from the trees and get on the green when you could even see the green? In baseball was the same thing. If you had hitters that could put the ball where they wanted to create situations, it made the game interesting, and you don't have that anymore.
You do in Shohei Ohtani.
You got one.
That's one.
But what I'm saying,
you got another couple more in the minor leagues that play both ways. The guy that signed with Clemson last year.
But what I'm saying is the majority of the hitters, the only thing that you see out of fielding in baseball to me is the shift. You don't see a lot of players. They don't have to play a lot of different balls. They wait for the grounder to third. They wait for it to short. They wait for the fly ball. They don't have to worry about. They don't have to worry about it. They don't have to worry about the pull hitters. They don't have to worry about anything because that's not what they're wanting their players to do.
And I give, and I'm going to shift it even over to football, high school football from this. Okay, you talk about not being used to doing things. When people play teams like a West Lincoln or even a Lincolnton that line up when Lincolnton goes tight and they're power football, run, what's everybody do today? They spread. So their defenses are spread. So they practice playing basketball on the football field.
Yeah.
That's why it isn't. That's why when you play teams like West Lincoln, that are very power run oriented teams, Lincolnton, those kind of things, our kids, I'm just giving an example, are prepped because we know that, we teach that mentality, of attack style defense versus a lot of teams that just line their defense up and say, well, we need to guard these people. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's the same way in baseball with the third baseman. That guy a lot of times is over at shortstop. How's he going to come in and play the ball and throw it?
Richie's right. He said if you want to beat the shift, you go back to learning to hit the opposite field. I don't think it's about learning to hit the opposite field. They're told not to hit.
No, and you're right because of the
analytics side of it.
Statistics and analytics.
Back in the day, the reason they did a lot of small balls because you had knuckleball pitchers, you had junk ball pitchers. They had thrown 70 miles an hour. Nowadays, you get in the major leagues, everybody's throwing 97. It's tough to do that, 97.
It goes back to a comment you made before we went on the air, and not mentioning names or anything like that. You've gotten away from the pitchers that have a quiver full of pitches.
Yeah, it's power game.
You've got guys that's just bringing the heat until they run out, and then they'll bring another one in that can throw 100.
But it's style versus substance, Lanny, and that's why it's not sustainable. To Juju's point, I was watching a clip, one of the Facebook clips that of Mark Fidrich, the bird.
Yeah.
That guy was just all over, but he was extremely effective because you didn't know where it was coming from. That ball, it was just crazy.
And go back to, I can't remember the last name, Luis.
Tiant.
Yeah,
Louis Tiant.
that looked to center field and then came back and made the pitch, but he was effective.
What made Fernando Valenzuela so effective? He could throw a screwball as a lefty. The ball would go away from a right-hander. It would come down and, his curveball down and his changeup. I average at best fastball.
But now everything's bring it 100. Hit it out of the park, and nothing else really matters.
Well, that and spin rate's big, too. If you can throw it 97 and make it spin, that's like throwing the screwball or whatever. Yeah. But Ohtani last night, when I watched some of the highlights, his ball was going, I don't know, 1 o'clock to 7 o'clock.
I'm going to tell you, when I watch highlights and I watch a guy come in and that thing is waist high, about 2 foot before the plate, and the next thing you know, it's in the bottom left corner. Yeah. That's amazing. Well, that's amazing to me.
To Juju's point, to spin rate. That is such science behind pitching and worked on so much to get any kind of movement to make it more difficult. All right? It's the speed of the game and the degree of difficulty of hitting, the faster pitch. But remember, hitting in two planes is much harder than hitting in one. That's why the drop and drive pitchers, guys like Seaver that used to drag their leg to the ground, were effective for a while because all anybody saw was two-plane pitches. Balls coming in like this, to your point, Juju, curveballs, knuckleballs, change-ups falling down the way. When Seaver got in there, he put the ball right in that trajectory, and it took hitting, several. Nolan Ryan was another one. But then when those guys became proficient at that through analytics and through being able to video, and that's what Tony Gwynn talked about. All he did on the plane was watch videos of the pitchers that he was going to face. And so the dynamics of the game changed. It went from two-plane pitching, again, throwing, stand tall to throw the ball and get it down this way. And to your point, now that the ball's going here and can do off a spin rate. Sinkers.
Rich made a good point. He said pitchers now have only about 2 pitches. Pitchers used to have 4 pitches, most of the pitches came from the same arm angle and release point.
Right.
And that's what makes pitching successful. Yeah. When that release looks exactly the same regardless of what you're doing with the ball, and softball's another one like that.
Yeah,
that's the key. And when you watch some of these softball pitchers, that arm motion is the same, but yet she dropped 20 miles an hour. You know, and I say 20 because when I was watching this fall or this spring, most of those girls, 70 was minimum. Most of them was throwing over 70 miles an hour underhanded, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And then you drop that changeup back. Let me take a break, and let me squeeze a break in here, and then we'll be back in just a minute.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver, or visit MooneyInsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stifel Nicholas can assist you. Call Ford Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
Okay, we got all of our political situation taken care of during that break. Y'all really need to subscribe to that. I just can't come up with what I feel like would be a fair price to charge for that behind-the-scenes look.
You're nuts.
Do it a monthly charge and a yearly
I
charge.
love you, man.
Let's see here. Let me go back and catch up on some.
Man, my house, I'd have protesters outside if we did the behind the scenes stream. We can't
My
do
wife
it.
had another message. I'm trying to get him to go to a Braves game. God, he sucks. Your next husband's going to be so much better than I am. I'm just
Javier.
telling you. No, Javier, he can't make enough money. Richie said.
Andrew says his comments still aren't coming through.
I don't see him.
Well, I mean, why? Do you have any idea?
No, I don't. I don't. That's what he said. He can text
can't-
me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he just said, my comments still aren't coming through. I don't know. Did Facebook shut? I mean, could they have possibly?
Maybe him,
That's
not
what
me.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, just
let me just see if I can find him because he said that yesterday.
yeah.
Get my head screwed on straight here. Get these other comments, and I'll look Andrew up. Brandon says now they seem to concentrate on velocity over location and multiple pitch types, pushing fastball and changeup.
Yep. That's right.
The biggest change this year is the four seam, as you said, the sinkers, is trying to throw sinkers and sliders now more and more, again, because of spin rate and movement.
Richie also said, I think Wakefield was about the only pitcher that you could stand at the plate and know what was coming and still possibly not hit it.
Well, the catcher couldn't catch it either.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what was crazy. I mean, he was that good.
Yeah.
You know,
He and Phil Necro, two best that I've seen in my lifetime.
incredible.
Yeah.
And Gaylord had all kinds of crazy stuff throwing up there too. You know, he coached at Limestone. My high school teammate, Legion teammate, Chris Kazort.
Wait a minute.
You know,
I do
played
see
for
an
him.
Andrew. I see an Andrew. That's the complaint with soccer as well. When we were talking about it's
did
the
it
same
get-
thing.
yeah.
I had to pull it up on another page unless I just scrolled through it and didn't see it. It's Facebook, and yeah, how that is. That's just one of those things.
Holy smokes.
If I could figure out a better way to do this, where I get comments, all right, I'll flip between the two, Richie. Andrew. Let me go over to this one because this one over here I can see. Maybe I can see. They just said they used to go to women's soccer at Carolina, and that was fun. But you feel the same way about hockey most part. Being a Canes fan's fun, but it's puck in the net, and I don't understand anything else. I don't either, and I don't want to see professional hockey that's on the fights. I want to see fights. I like fights in hockey games. And if a hockey game happens to break out during a fight, I'm okay with that.
I saw a good one several years ago against the Blues and the Blackhawks. Holy cow, I was out in St. Louis or whatever, so we went over there and were watching the game that night. Holy cow, there was a couple.
You know, you can make an argument that maybe hockey players are the most –
I have
the most skill.
I have that,
And the best
That
athletes.
has been – I have said that forever because of all the things that you have to do while skating 20 miles an hour. I mean, you know, the hand-eye coordination and being able to swing and not fall down and
Skate backwards, sideways.
Yeah.
Keep your head up so you don't get smashed. up
Richie
against
said
the
he was
boards.
watching the end of yesterday's stage of the Tour de France. Two cyclists that that finished first and second were so far ahead of the other riders, they played paper, rock, scissors to see who would win that stage. Somebody better make them pee in a jar. That's all I know, because I bet they're cheating.
Man, come on. I mean,
I bet they're cheating. All right, let's go to the top story of the day. We've talked baseball. I'm just about out of baseball knowledge. Carolina Panthers will be one of the top picks to win the Super Bowl this year with their new quarterback.
No.
No?
They'll be they got better yesterday.
Tell me how.
They got better? Mm-hmm. They got – you tell me.
No, you tell me.
Okay.
You're the one who said it. I can't figure it out.
They got a quarterback that has won playoff games. They got a quarterback that will have a chip on his shoulder to play.
All right, let me stop you right there just one
Well,
second.
you said you.
I know,
give
but
me-
I'm gonna address him as we go. Okay, he's not gone to a team that's won a playoff game anytime in the recent future. And when he was at Cleveland, he had one of the best offensive lines in football. You think he's got a chip on his shoulder? He's going to have a burr up his butt crack
got
because they're going to kill him.
Their offensive line's better.
Not like it was at Cleveland. Not like it
Cleveland
was at
didn't
Cleveland.
have a great offensive line. And here's great running backs.
And here's the other thing that's going to happen is he's going to become, how do I put this gently? He's going to have his time of the month all season long because he's not going to be happy with anything that's going on at Carolina. He has not played in that much dysfunction.
You're kidding me? You don't think Cleveland was dysfunctional?
But they had more talent around it.
Yeah, but they had more dysfunction,
They had a coach.
No, they had 4 coaches.
I'll take the last one, but I don't see where they get better. You think it's an improvement over Sam Darnold?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Okay.
Without a doubt.
Record.
What do you mean record?
What's the record?
The overall next year? 8-9.
Okay, so
at the best.
They win the team of mediocrity.
They go from 5 to 8 or 5 to 9, 25% better, 50% better. What do you expect?
But is that not? But here's my biggest thing.
How about 11-7?
Here's my biggest thing.
11-6.
Here's my biggest thing. This is my issue, and it's the same issue I have with the Hornets. There is no commitment from management to make that franchise better.
But they got better yesterday.
Yeah, because they picked up a quarterback that couldn't get along where he was at. That's documented, and they picked him up for $40 a week or something. I don't know. I mean, Cleveland's eating his salary. That's why they picked him up. They got him for nothing. Really?
They got the number 1 draft pick 4 years ago for nothing. That's a win for me in my book.
You really think he was a number 1 draft pick?
He was to Cleveland.
But no, was he a stretch for a number 1 draft pick?
That's Cleveland. They've had 4 offensive coordinators, 3 coaches, something like that. So he's used to dysfunction. So he's coming here. Maybe he can overcome that.
And how was he with his attitude going through that?
Why, you'd be having attitude too.
I understand. Now you're bringing that to the Panthers.
So what'll be interesting to me is if he's learned anything.
Yeah.
And able to that's kind of I think that's the big question.
He's at an age where they start learning.
Is he going to be able to make that transition? From the immaturity, which you have to be immature before you can be mature, right? I mean, you have to go through those things, and maybe not what he did, but you know what I'm talking about.
I couldn't give a flip about what fans think and stuff like that. What will happen to the Panthers when he steps in the huddle? Well, the players around him look to him and say, "Okay, you're our leader."
Right.
Did they do that with Sam Darnold?
But
did they do that with P.J. Walker? Will they do that with Matt Corral?
I'm not convinced that Baker Mayfield knows how to play that role.
He played in Cleveland.
Leader.
They won 11 games, 12 games. Won a playoff game. Almost beat Kansas City the year they went to the Super Bowl.
Okay, let me catch you up here.
And I'm not a Cleveland Browns fan. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that.
I know.
And I just think the Panthers got better yesterday over who? Sam Darnold. You know what you got in Sam.
Yeah, I think it was a coin flip.
But
they won the coin flip then.
What
50-50.
Yeah. So it's a coin flip, and I think the interesting thing too is the like Juju's talking about, the fans and their reaction, things like that. Wonder what some of the pundits like out west, like Coward, are going to say, about this, because he was a huge Sam Darnold. Like, he talked about Sam Darnold for years, talking about he and Josh Rosen were going to change, the NFL, this kind of thing, right? And they didn't kind of pan out. And he's not a big Baker Mayfield fan. Wonder if he, is able. You know what I'm saying? Some of these guys,
Steve Smith wasn't a Baker Mayfield fan either, and he ripped the trade. And he said if Panthers ever got him, that he said some very negative things. Last night, you saw it on NFL Network. He completely turned on a dime, changed his tune.
Yeah.
So did Robbie Anderson. Now, I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
Now, we're talking about Steve Smith Sr.?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe he can go in the film room and he can fight Baker Mayfield. That's what Steve Smith Sr. brings to the field for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You get in a fight on the field with a teammate, I'm okay. You put a guy in the hospital in the film room, I got a little issue with that. And I'll never get over that. All right, let me catch up. Richie says, dysfunction breeds dysfunction. If Mayfield thinks the Panthers have done him wrong, he'll scorch them by week 3. This will be a great circus to watch.
I don't think he does.
Well,
he took a pay cut to come here.
Yeah, they gave him an opportunity, and hopefully he'll be grateful for that.
He took a $3 million.
I don't think he took a $3 million pay cut to come here. I think he took a $3 million pay cut for somebody to pick him up because I don't think anybody else would.
He could have stayed in Cleveland then and kept his money.
They didn't keep him, and they don't have quarterback.
But they could have cut him, and he'd have got all of his money. Instead of $18 million, he's going to get $15 million.
That's yes.
So they found somebody
that would take him,
he agreed to take a $3 million pay cut.
Just to get out of there. Right?
Yeah,
he's
says something.
I think we'll know who Baker Mayfield is week 1.
Oh yeah, they play Cleveland.
Yeah. Now, is he going to be a mature player on the field, or is he going to be the crotch-grabbing guy that played college ball because maybe they beat the Browns? Is he mature? Does he maintain his emotions?
If they beat Cleveland
as an adult, as a big kid?
Yeah.
I think you're going to know week 1.
It'll be interesting, win or lose. It'll be interesting to.
You're going to know where you ask. Has he changed? Has he grown up? You're going to know.
Yeah,
you're going to know right then.
Yeah.
Okay.
And who's going to be the quarterback at Cleveland now? I mean, do they trade for Garoppolo?
I would have thought that they would have made him throw Sam Darnold in just so they had a backup.
Maybe he'll go to Seattle.
So, is the Garoppolo saga still?
Yes. Yeah, he knows he's not the future.
I don't okay.
I don't know. Yes, Lindsay, I did say burr in my butt crack, and I did say time of the month. Just in case you missed those, I'll repeat those for you. She said, you're killing it, Dad. Richie said, and I'll take your other Charlotte franchise, the Hornets. The Hornets fire their coach, hire a coach, he backs out, then they rehire the coach they fired 2 years prior to that.
Yeah.
That's no direction. He says, come on, MJ, do better. That's my whole point with the
Nike.
Panthers.
Come on, Nike.
Well, he separates himself from that. I've explained that to you. Let's see. Richie wants to know if he can get the other $3 million. TJ said, crazy to think the Panthers now have a first overall and third overall draft pick in the quarterback room for very little. It's because they were misses, TJ. I'm completely convinced they were misses. Now, I will say this. I think Sam Darnold is a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield. He got his head messed up because of the dysfunctional place he was at. Baker was messed up before he went to Cleveland.
That's fair.
Okay?
That's messed up how?
I see a little bit. Just to his antics and the way he played in college, his immaturity.
Yeah, there were a lot of quarterbacks.
Cowherd says it best. He says, when I vote and elect a president, I want him to look presidential. When I draft a quarterback, I want him to look and act like a quarterback, not just some clown. And when you look at quarterbacks that go to the podium, you're the face of the franchise. Does that not help set the tone for your franchise?
Okay, this is a style versus substance issue. And number one, anytime you are that high caliber there's so many players today that are out there that have the character and the athleticism. So it's like saying, well, I want like Coward said, I want somebody to act presidential. That is style versus substance.
Right.
In the end, and not talking about politics, I'm talking about college football. Do you want somebody that gets the job done and goes about their business, the right way, or do you want someone that just looks the part? Okay?
Yeah, but what I'm saying,
because Ryan Leaf looked the part. Okay, he looked real presidential. Okay, and I'm sure that made everybody feel real good inside.
I agree.
Oh, he's so big and tall and all this. How was it really? Okay, so when it all comes down to it, I go back to the Navy SEAL chart. That's what it's all about. Talent level is very, very important, but it's not near as important in a position of distribution as the character that you have and your ability to get things
Yeah,
done,
but like with Ryan
regardless
Leaf,
of what it looks like, the way you
with
do
Ryan
it.
Leaf, you didn't see those character flaws when he was in college.
No, there was no, because he didn't play.
Right.
I agree with you. It's like Darnold and Rosen. They didn't play against really any defensive competition. I say this all the time with the SEC. That's why Matt Corral will likely have a decent opportunity or decent NFL career because of who he learned from. All right,
I agree.
The defenses he went against,
the stability that he played
bringing
under.
all these people in. You know, the question I have with Pickett is, who I'm so excited the Steelers got. The question I have with him is, how are we able to measure it? We
level
will
of
see
competition
now.
that you've seen.
Right, we will see now, and I'm big on him. I really like the guy.
Yeah, no, I am too.
I really like the guy, and I'm going to tell you something. As much as you don't like Trubisky, you need to, not you, third person, you need to look into his actual stats and his actual performance relative to what he faced in Chicago, which I would contend didn't get near the publicity, but is much more dysfunctional than even Cleveland was, but it didn't get the publicity for it. Right?
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Because
I agree.
Because he's a higher character guy, okay? There's a lot of interesting dynamics in the way people think and the perceptions. And the one thing that is wrong with this whole picture is people want to be right. People want to be first instead of being right.
Right, yeah.
That's the whole
my
problem with everything
my problem with Trubisky is I didn't see enough out of him in college to justify what was spent to take him.
Who?
Strictly
He played strictly
upside. He started 9 games.
I'm not disagreeing.
In the ACC.
I'm not
Start
disagreeing.
9 games in the SEC,
You could
I'll
say
give
the
you a little
same
bit
thing
more.
about the kid that the young man that passed away that played with the Steelers that got traded from the Redskins.
The quarterback.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about. Yep.
Bless, God rest his soul. I mean, but the same thing could be said about that. Mm-hmm. Did he have enough of the whatever there?
Yeah, but that one goes back to ownership. He went to school with Daniel Snyder's son.
Right.
Kind of like what the comment that Richie said. These two franchises decide it's time to hire a great GM and front office and let them do their job and fund the operation. When no one's coming to the games, when the franchise is on their last leg, when do they decide enough is enough? Mm-hmm. And the only problem wrong with that, Richie, and I'll tell you what it is, they've got a top-notch GM with the Hornets now that is a proven GM in the NBA. But if you don't turn him loose and let him do his job, it doesn't matter.
Well, it's true.
Kupchak's got the resume.
He's
He's been a manager with some of the top NBA franchises.
Go back to two quarterbacks. When you think of athleticism, do you think of Peyton Manning?
No.
Do you think of Tom Brady?
No.
They score so high on the SEAL chart, and I'm going to wear this out for the next 2 months.
What do they call it on the what do they call it at the combine?
The test, the something test.
Yeah. They score so high though.
The Wonderlic.
The Wonderlic. Yeah. Let me tell you something.
Haskins, thank you, Brian.
Take it one time.
Thank you, Alan.
Holy cow, right?
Yeah.
But they score so high. There's a reason that those two quarterbacks, in the franchises they were with, were able to win Super Bowls. Okay, and it wasn't a fluke. The Patriots won several Super Bowls, and that Manning won too. Mm-hmm. Even his brother. You're adhering to the process.
But here's the other side,
instead of the glamour.
And it's not,
for God's sakes,
it's not just one thing, okay? Because I would say that had Brady, had Manning been at other franchises with different ownership and different head coaches, may not have had the same success because they didn't have that athleticism. They had coaches that understood the cerebral side of it.
Absolutely.
But you know what I'm saying? But they could have went to another franchise that was not top on the list.
That's my point.
And they wouldn't have done as well. Hey, Milton, good morning.
So to Juju's point, where is Mayfield now, right? Mm-hmm. And how does
operation.
How does he and Rule, how do they connect and get this?
Or their offensive coordinator, who I think is probably more important than Matt Rule is.
Yeah.
But
every play goes through the head coach's head.
Well,
yeah, but again, I think he's more on the hot seat.
The coordinator's going to have a lot more hands.
They brought him in
for
a reason.
For
absolutely. And what if Baker Mayfield grows up and matures. What if he has a good year?
It's incredible, and it's a great turnaround story, and I hope they win the Super Bowl.
Or make the playoffs.
Or get beat by the Steelers in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. I'm sorry.
No, or make the playoffs. Is that a good year?
Yeah. Oh.
To go from 5 wins to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
But let's look at their division.
Do they have to have a winning
Atlanta.
record?
Hold on. Atlanta.
Yeah.
New Orleans. All right. Tampa. Right?
The Panthers can only go to the playoffs as a wild card. They can't win the division unless Tommy gets hurt.
But the division is not what it was 2
years
ago.
It's not stacked.
Because
the South
Drew's
used to be one of the
gone,
top divisions in the league.
Matt Ryan, Atlanta's way down. It's a different world.
Before I take a break, let me give you the Panther details here. Okay, they will pay $4.85 million of his salary. The Browns will pay $10.5. Mayfield agreed to convert the remainder of his $18.8, which is around $3 million, into incentives to facilitate the deal. Mayfield can earn back the money based on team performance. Okay? Browns will receive a 4th and 5th round pick in 24, depending on his playing time in Carolina. For the pick to go to a 4th rounder, Mayfield would have to play 70% of the snaps, according to David Newton. Mayfield was number 1 pick in the 18 draft. Sam Darnold was number 3 pick in the 18 draft, and then the Panthers also have Matt Corral in the 3rd round from this year's draft.
Right.
And the Panthers have no intention of trading Darnold after acquiring Mayfield.
Till next year, right? What do you think? I think next year he's gone, Darnold.
There's a possibility that both of them can be gone.
Here's the deal. I'm going to take a break.
Yeah. Really good possibility.
I'm going to take a break, and then I'm going to tell you that I think Darnold is gone sooner than that.
Whoa.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto, you're one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stifel Nicholas can assist you. Call Ford Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning at 9:45 and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
And welcome back. Winding up here on a Thursday.
Fastest hour in sports.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, you said the Cleveland Browns. You said you're going to have a comment about Sam Darnold.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland Browns, for their all their good things, their great offensive line. Baker Mayfield's last start came against the Steelers. He was sacked 9 times.
God, he got crushed.
9 times.
But does that tell you something?
It tells you something that there's a lot of lookout blocks there, right?
Yeah.
Or a lot of, you know what, I've had enough of you.
Perhaps.
TJ, it's your world. Come on in.
Yeah.
I'm not accusing anybody of sandbagging. What I'm saying is motivation is very high when the brother next to you or the person next to you is in it as much as you are. That you know that person will die for you. It's talk about being in the foxhole, right?
Yeah.
And so when I look at a player, I don't care if it's high school, middle school, because it's all about development, all right? You know, you're trying to get to that point. But if I look at a player and think, wow, he's so talented, but do I want him in the foxhole with me? Okay? That's what gets a kid on the field.
Yeah. Are the Browns, are the players going to say, I want Deshaun Watson in the foxhole with me in the future?
You might get a massage if you do. I'm sorry. I didn't mean anything vulgar by that. I was just being
Yes,
funny.
he did. Yeah, he's talking about a happy ending.
I was not going there. Oh, my God.
Hey, that's what happens you hand around me. I'll just go ahead and tell you. Yeah. We didn't even bring up Wonderlick.
The Wonderlick test.
Yeah. TJ made the best comment when you talk about Brady and Manning. This is why we're not on the radio. This is why we're online. When TJ made the best comment when you brought up Brady and Manning, this tells you what kind of player they are. Both those guys took pay cuts to keep good players around them.
Foxhole, baby. Foxhole.
I mean, what it does is what it does.
That's what
their
I'm
commitment
talking
to the
about.
team.
Yes, when
Yeah.
T.J. Thomas played for me, he was a guy when he moved here, all right, he was a sophomore. I was coaching JV football at Maiden. After 2 weeks of being with that guy, he's a foxhole guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's in it. He's my guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to play tight end. You know what I'm saying? That you
Is that
know
something
these things
learned?
about these kids.
Is that something learned or something you're born with?
No, you got to be born with that.
I think you have the intangible, and it can be enhanced even more because of the type of people that you're around. But I think you have
Your environment.
Yeah, but I think I believe they say that humans don't have instincts. I say they, whoever that means. I'm not so sure that that's 100% true. Okay, we have that instinct of survival, even though we can't when we're born. We're dependable. But as we get older, we have that instinct of survivability, right? How you adapt in your environment means the stability of your, of how well you will be able to survive and then thrive. Mm-hmm. And that's it.
After a certain, I'm going to say after a certain age or point in your development, I think it's hard for somebody to change and adapt to giving more of themselves than what they take for themselves. And I think once you get a kid in high school, I don't think you can teach them foxhole, because they have to. That kind of has to be in their persona as they were growing up, because they can't understand it. They can't understand, how do I give that? Some of that goes back to like with kids and wives and stuff like that. How much would you give for your kids and wives, that kind of thing.
Yeah, sure.
But I just think part of that has to be kind of inherent to you. Lindsay wants the Panthers to draft a new coach next year. Richie said he saw a great meme. Super Bowl quarterbacks in 2030, a gray-headed Tom Brady versus Arch Manning.
Okay.
No.
I'm 100% okay with that.
Milton said Mayfield will get his 5th coach in 6 years after Rule gets canned. He's not lasting that long. I'm putting a whole lot of confidence in Matt Corral. I am. I hope. Milton also said, I know Mayfield may be a little immature, but having to learn a new offense every year because of the Cleveland dysfunctional coaching carousel may be a better player than his anemic stats. Rule will get him hurt with no offensive line. See, even if he's an upgrade, I don't think he's upgrading to a better situation.
Talk about his personal self, right? You are where you are because that's truly where you want to be. And that has to do with every aspect of life.
But I think a lot of Mayfield stuff is he wants to put it in their face, and not a better place to do it than the first game of the season against the team that didn't want him.
But all those things are external factors. You have to focus.
That's what I'm saying. I'm hoping that he's matured and able to convert that to some of his own. But I'm not sure. Lindsay said, inappropriate comment about Deshaun Watson that's attributed to For Rembert right here, there in the middle.
No.
Richie said, do Watson and Kraft travel together?
I'm going to die right here, man.
Lindsay said, I'm with you, For Rembert. Hey, is what it is. That's all I'll say. You got any on this days?
I do not, no.
For you got any on this days?
Yeah. Yeah, on this day I was
embarrassed?
20 years ago. Was
Happy belated anniversary.
Wait a minute.
Thank you.
Yesterday was the anniversary.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've never celebrated our anniversary until last night, ever, because I've always been because I had playoff games, like when I was doing Legion or Quinn's been involved in something, or Garrett or whatever. Mm-hmm. So last night went to dinner at Charlotte, fantastic, and then went to go watch Maverick, and that was good. Mm-hmm. And so, but yeah, on this day 20 years ago, I gotten up at 5 a.m. to catch a flight out of Charlotte after arriving in Charlotte at 12:30, and we were getting ready to board our cruise for our honeymoon. And they looked at my wife and they said, "We can't take a copy of your birth certificate. You got to have the real thing."
That is correct.
Wow, this is the shortest marriage in the history of the world. No, but they said, "Go over to this other window," and they took it, and all was good. And golly, I don't even recognize now. She still looks the same, but I don't recognize. Wow, it's incredible.
Rich said, "Happy anniversary."
Thank you, brother.
All right, everybody have a good day. I went to Longhorn, had a filet last night, and bought a new truck.
I love your truck.
Thank you very much.
Heading to Atlanta, World Wood Bat Tournament. All right, and I'll see you guys like Friday next week. How does
that affect going between metal and wood?
Yeah, so he's been playing the wood the last two. Quinn swings the wood every day.
Okay.
So he's okay with it, and again, and I think you and I talked about this a couple weeks ago. The metal, there's some kids that can swing metal really, really well, and when they transition to the wood, it's a little bit different approach to how you connect with the ball. Okay, and there's some kids that hit a tremendous amount of home runs in college and just can never make that jump with the wood bat, and then there's some kids that, like Zach Jarrett's a great example, that had no issue transition to the wood bat because of the amount of strength that he possessed. Zach's
and he played in wooden bat leagues in the summer.
Right. That kind of thing. Yeah. So, and Zach played in some showcase teams, growing up, and then played for me his senior year when he graduated post 48. and his athleticism, his limbs are just so long and so strong that when he would come work out, years later over here at the lab, when he and his dad would come in and they'd work out, you could just see, there was no issue at all with him swinging the wood bat. So what this wood bat tournament does, it kind of starts separating the kids maybe at a long-term approach for these scouts to look at. College guys can look and say, hey, this kid's got some skill. He can swing this a little bit, or he's a little bit behind, but that doesn't mean he's not good with the metal. We may be able to use this, da-da-da. Pro guys like it because they can say, holy cow.
Yeah.
Now we got a guy that can hit it, That ball Quinn hit last summer down at Randleman High School is like the day we started football practice the next day is the last term of the summer. He hit it on the football field at Randleman with a wood bat, which is the first one he's hit, of that distance with that to give him the belief that he could do it. He's always been able to swing it. But when he hit that thing on the football field at Randleman, he hit it out of the baseball stadium onto the football field with a wood bat, then, things dynamically changed almost instantly for him and his projection, for down the road.
Yeah.
So, it gives kids an opportunity to, if they have that good moment, for example, then there's some good possibilities down the road.
That's awesome.
It's a good thing.
All right. Have a good day. You back tomorrow?
Well, I'll have to let you know.
Okay. That'd be fine. If you don't, I'll go do something else.
See you Friday, maybe Thursday.
Next Friday?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll be gone for a week.
All right. Have a great day, everybody. See ya.